guys. That was awesome.
That's beautiful. All right, that was cool. Icebreaker. So let's get started. Let's get started. So first, before we dive deep into the questions that I have for you, I wanted to for both of us to introduce ourselves to our platform. You can go first.
Okay, well, my name is Siobhan, but I go by the name Von Shui from Washington, D.C. I'm an intuitive reader, a teacher. It's nothing I haven't been through, so I call myself a spiritual realist. Where my goal is to just help raise the vibration of this society, of this planet. But I first start with ourselves and knowing that once you start with ourselves, then that's where everything else around us begins to reflect that change that we are. So that's my message. That's why I'm here, to just do my part and let people know that you're loved and you felt and you're here. We hear you, you know.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I am Goddess Just Be. I help people with wellness. I'm a blood type connection catalyst. So when I talk about wellness, I'm talking about mind, body, and soul. I look at the totality of God, not just the physical, but the spiritual, because physical only represents 0.01 of all that there is. The 99.999% of us is our spiritual essence. So being a blood type connection catalyst, what that means is that I help people with wellness as it pertains to what your blood type is. And I cater meal plans, detoxes, weight loss cheat codes, a plethora of physical things to help people. And I also offer mentorship, guidance in the spiritual realm as well, because all things are energy, frequency, and vibration. We pay attention a lot to the physical essence of things because we're participating in this matrix, but there's an energy behind it. And so I am a seer. I'm a blood type connection catalyst. I help people with the totality of their journey with wellness and spirituality. And I'm here on TikTok at this time during of the day doing tarot readings because of the energy that I feel and I know that is a gift of mine, just to kind of like help mankind on their journey, just like V is doing. But me and her, just different expressions of God, but all is God. All is God. And there are some people in this here reality that are gifted to be seers, to be tarot readers, to do what she said, to help mankind. And so that's just a little bit about me. I wanted to interview her because she's one of my supporters and she's doing the same thing, like-minded energy. And it's an effort for my supporters to get to know her and look at life like through a different lens. Like they see me doing it, they understand my approach. But I want to show my supporters on my conscious lives that there are other reflections that are just like me. You know, they have different personalities. They're probably more of a hype person like she is than I am. But all is God. And I'm hopeful that you all can get something out of this interview that I have with her. All right.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Hey, Keith. Hey, Tangela. Hey, Blue Diamond. Hey, Rita. Now look,
where are you from?
Now everybody gonna come. Y'all wasn't here when I was getting my butt beat in that battle. Y'all coming through now. But that's okay. All is God. I enjoyed it.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. So my first question, hey Kinstar, how you been, babe? My first question to you is, how did your gift find you? That's how I like to say it. How did your gift of reading find you?
It's complicated to say, but I can tell you where I first realized I had my gift.
Mm-hmm.
When before I even got into tarot, I'm new into the tarot realm, so I'm just getting into that part of my spirituality.
Okay.
To know my intuition, it was a situation when I was a child, and I actually witnessed my brother pass before he actually passed.
Oh,
and
wow.
I went to go tell my family members, his girlfriend at the time, like, something about to happen to my brother. I don't know what to say. I don't know how it's going to be, but something is about to happen. And within minutes, we get the screams, we hear the calls, we hear, the sirens, and it was like, yeah, it was your brother. Right. And so for me, was when I realized that I had a gift that was bigger than me. And so I hid it for so long. And, I went through the church phase, and
right.
I got to know myself through that road first, right? Which we all do. Some of us, right?
Right.
But then at some point, after I lost my mom, and then I went through a continuum of losses, that's when I just, something was in me, and I started seeing other readers, and I started seeing other things, and the more I started tapping into myself, I was like, okay, let me see how I can use these gifts in a way that can be, different than anything that I was taught. And so that's when I was introduced to tarot with oracle cards first. Okay. And then it was the building from there.
So you were afraid when you saw this, your brother died. What do you see? Did you see like it happened before it happened?
Yes, I had a premonition.
Okay.
Before it happened, I didn't see like how it was going to happen. I literally just had this inner knowing that something wasn't right. He came to me minutes before his demise, and he was like, "I love you," and it was just in his "I love you." I was like, "Hold on, I know you love me, but you don't tell me you love me just because you love me." And then it was the look in his eyes, and then it was. It's the best way I can describe it is like anybody see the show Monk. Mm-hmm. And you know how with Monk, it wasn't necessarily what you saw, it's also those things that you was out of place. You just know that something was missing. And so that's what it was for me. I was like, something isn't right. So it was just my intuition just kicked in. This was like, I was in the day before my junior high school graduation. Oh, wow. And so so it was like I was still a child. I didn't know what to do. So I ran to tell his girlfriend at the moment because I know he just left from her. But it was a lot with him. He suffered from a lot of mental, issues, and that's before we had the terms that we have now, right? Bipolar, and so that's how it began with me. That's how I tapped in.
So is that the same feeling that you feel when you read in tarot, like this knowing?
It's a knowing, and the more I exercise my muscles, the more it's more than just a knowing for me. So I can hear, right? Certain songs resonates, right? Yes. I can hear different voices sometimes, not to sound sinister, but sometimes that's how it is.
Voices,
sometimes, yes. I can hear different things, or it could be sensory. I'm at the point now where I can walk and I can feel you behind me. Yep. And I know now like certain clues to make sure that I'm safe. So I know how to check my shadow or check the ground to make sure, even if I don't want to do that look back thing. So it comes in different things. Sometimes it's just a gut feeling, that butterfly in your stomach, like, yes. What is this about? Sometimes it's just a dis-ease where you just feel uneasy in your heart, and it's like, hold on. Now something isn't right, and I've learned. It took some practice to go with that feeling, but
okay. So to the little girl in me, talking to you, asking you this question: who is this person? You're saying about this gut feeling, this voice. Could you answer the question as if you're talking to a little girl? Because when I say little girl, I want everybody to be able to relate to it. So a little girl is in the room and she's asking you, "Hey, I'm having these gut feelings. I'm hearing these things. Who are these people talking to me?" What would you say to her?
I would just call it awareness. Because I can't tell you who or they are, right? Sometimes I feel like we can coin. Of course, we have these terminologies that's given to us. So we could coin them ancestors, spirit guides, angels. If we not for the good, demons, or how you try to determine what it is. But I feel like it's just a sense of awareness. I can't really tell you a name. Okay. It's different.
So if she's afraid though, how would you tell the little girl to deal with it if she's afraid? Because somebody may have told her it's the boogeyman or something. Like, so how would you tell her based upon, what you know, how to address that?
I would ask her feels. How did that make you feel?
God darn it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
If it was a negative, if you felt negative, then there was something negative that was affecting you, mind, body, spirit.
Right.
If it was a positive thing, it could be something, you know.
Right.
How did you feel? How did that make you feel?
And so you always, and that's one thing, no matter who, that's really where I wanted you to go with that, V, because I want everybody that can hear us speaking, that's probably in that place of unknown, that's probably not, you know, to the place where they're doing tarot, and maybe they don't all the way trust their gut feeling just yet. It's about how you feel. It's like a knowing inside of you. And I like to call it my internal GPS system. It'll never steer you wrong. It's not going to tell you to go left and then you go left. Now you're scared. No, you're going to want to go left. You're going to get a hunch to go left because left you just know that going left is just the right thing in that moment to do. And it's not a pressure. It's just you going with flow. It's like so much of ease and flow. And this is the type of energy that we're talking about. And so that's how I look at things. All things are energy, frequency, and vibration. If it feels like chaos or chaotic energy, that's not flow. That means get up out of there. That means exit the building. Right. Right. And so do you reverence ancestors?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. It took me a while, right? I feel like this is the thing, and can I say this to everybody? It was a process for me, right? Everything in life is a transitionary point, right? So it was a transition for me to get where I am today. So at one point, because of my upbringing and what I was raised on, it was like, what is the ancestor, right?
Right.
We weren't taught about knowing the God with us. We were always pointed to God around us. Mm-hmm. And we were also pointed to what told us, or what was, we are told what is right and what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is evil, right? And so listening to other people is like, oh no, even tarot, I was like, oh no, family, friends, and some people condemned me. Like some people, why are you in my house with this mess, right? But then I had to realize that everybody is at a different point, and it's not for everybody to get or to have, right? It's for to each its own. And that's my thing about everybody's spiritual journey, where I may not be where you are, but nevertheless, as long as you are in your period of transition, as long as you are taking those steps, and when that intuition do say try it, give it a try. It's a subtle nudge that we get.
There you go. Oh my God, yes.
It's so subtle, and it's like you go against your heart space, like your heart and your mind do this tug of war. Everything you were taught versus unprogramming and reprogramming. So ancestor veneration is new to me. So I'm just at a point now where I'm comfortable with, having my alone time and lighting my candles and having my personal time and venerating their energy in the way, for the positive and for the good. But I know if they didn't play with me on this side, baby.
So tell me this, though. What does the tarot mean to you? Like, what is, like, for a person maybe that never even experienced a reading before? What would you tell them, like, for a beginner? Like what do you think flipping a card over, or how do you think flipping a card over correlates to their life? Like, how do you give this thing meaning?
So anybody can read a tarot card. Mm-hmm. Okay, they come with many of instructions, right? They have from the beginning to the end, everything you need to know. So for me, if that's something that you want to get into, I would say your intuition is going to be your best guide, right? Even if people can learn the tarot card from like left to right, right to left, but if your intuition is instructing you on how to structure the reading, what you need to say also, because it can say one thing, but it can mean something totally different. So I say, if you want to know more about yourself, if you want to know more about how your personal intuition works, then tarot is a good way for that. It's like you access everything in this life as a tool. Right, that's the best way I can explain.
There you go.
Everything is like a hammer. We can use that same hammer to build up a house, so we can use it to knock somebody's head off.
Yep. You're right.
Right. So So everything is a tool, but it's up to you or the person using the tool as to how you do it, what you want to do with it, and if it's when you're going to do it for the highest good, or it is energy. So to know certain things, you can do certain things as well, but ultimately, I just say it's just to know yourself. That's why I got into it personally. Just like, okay, I kind of already have good intuition. Let me see what these cards want to. What can I come out with? What I want to learn. Okay, then the more and more I practice, the better and better I just got at it, and it's an intuitive thing for me.
Right. And I'm glad you said that it's a tool, because I want to add to that, because just like how I was talking about the physical being, 0.01 of the energy that we stem from, we have a lot of tools. We have crystals. We have food. How I was telling you I was a blood type connection catalyst. We have all these tools in the matrix, the tarot cards. We have religion as a tool. Really, it's about something to believe in. So being a blood type connection catalyst, say, for example, use blood type B, for example, and you're experiencing this ease and this harmony. There are foods that are in alignment that'll put out that inflammation in the physical reality. Those foods, if you consume those foods, those teas and those things for your blood type, it'll help you with inflammation. But at the end of it all, I want you to understand this one thing. It was you. It was you.
Yes, it points right back to you.
It always brings you back to you. Whatever the tool is, like the card will not be on that table, at least that energy of you wasn't present. So it brings you back to you. So here's my next question for you. So for the person starting off with their own deck of tarot cards, you would suggest that they get cards and do a card pulling on themselves first to start on tarot?
Yes. The better you are with yourself and even those around you, because I kind of practice on my kids first. Let me pull this, and I didn't start off with tarot. I started off with the Oracle deck. I kind of knew more about because I'm into astrology, like. Astrology and astronomy is I'm a bit nerdy. Okay,
that's a beautiful thing. I'm a nerd too.
Okay. So I love astronomy. So it was like something about that nighttime sky that did something to me. But once I started realizing, I didn't even know like the moon phases had so much to do with us. Yeah. It was like, so I started out there, right, with numerology and also tarot, the oracle decks. Okay. And then once I built my intuition to a point where I was comfortable with me and getting those cards, I was like, okay, hold on, what's next? Okay. Right. So that's when I started implementing tarot, and that's how it came about for me.
So a new person trying to find a tarot deck, and I know the answer to this already, how would you tell them to go about doing that? Like, how do you find which deck should they pick?
It's funny. You trick question, the deck pick you. It picks you.
There you go. Oh my God.
I'll be scrolling on Amazon like, I want to see. I like this. But it be something about that deck like me. Yeah. It's like that with songs for me too. So I can go in for Sunday night, but if something else is looking at me like, no, baby, take me home. I'm taking you home. Okay?
There you go. And I'm glad you answered it that way, because in the beginning I asked you, how did your gift choose you? And then now you're answering how your tarot cards.
You're so good.
Your tarot cards choose you. So it's an energetic thing. Like if this is your path, you don't have to go looking for it. I remember years ago when I first became conscious and I really wanted to learn about the hieroglyphics and different things from Egypt. I was in my bed, laying down, having this thought. I just wanted to understand, different religions and culture and different things. I'm having a thought about this. Meanwhile, this guy friend of mine texted me and told me to go check my mailbox. He had dropped something off for me. And he had a book in there with the Egyptian hieroglyphics, the meaning of every thing in the language that I really wanted to indulge in. And I'm like, oh my God. He was like, it's just something that I just thought you'd be interested in. I didn't ask him or anything. It's like when your gift is looking for you, you could run, You can say you're scared. You can shut your mouth, but it's almost like it's gonna get you in a corner where you just gotta surrender to it.
Yeah, and that's literally how it was for me. It was just like, okay, it literally just changed my whole life. I didn't know that I was even going in that route, right? My life was going totally one different direction, but once spirituality is not a cut and paste or a cut and dry thing, but when it's like, well, like you say, answer the call, Neo.
Answer the call. Yep.
Okay.
Answer that call.
Answer the call. You take the red or blue pill. You can keep the same reality, or you can take the pill and see what else is down your personal rabbit hole.
That rabbit hole.
You know about yourself.
Right.
You start to discover. And it's a beautiful journey. It's difficult now. It's not easy, but because sometimes it's literally going against everything you've ever known.
That part.
Right? Everything you were ever taught, everything you were ever taught to believe. It's like, okay. And then you start questioning everything. And the more you start questioning, the more you get the answers. And then those old answers is like, okay, now I see why that never made sense.
Right. So how do you question things? How do you question? Just in your mind through thought? Like, how you say you begin to question everything you once believed in. Do you ask yourself thoughts? Like, who do you, like, being that you're saying that you're coming from religion, and I guess in religion, everybody known to pray. Like, right? So you're questioning what? Who's there now in your journey? Since you're talking about the Neo aspect, who's there that you talk to?
Higher self. I talk to higher self, and then when I want to go above higher self, I go directly to source, the creator of all, the thing that gave everything meaning. That's exactly who I go to. And sometimes, life gives us names and terminology for it.
Right.
All is source energy.
So it's safe to say that you still believe in a source, in God.
Right. Oh yeah,
I
can do all of this by myself now.
There you go.
It's like I take me a partial of the way. That's like when it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, then all these things shall be added." It's like you got to understand that there is a kingdom of heaven above.
There you go.
That's above you.
Right, and I wanted you to say it like that because a lot of people think, or they'll come to the live and they'll be like, "You're going to hell" or whatever. A lot of people think tarot readers don't believe in God, but that is not the case. We just probably don't have the same language and, called on Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but we all believe in what she said, that source, that God source that we all stem from. So I just wanted that to be made known.
Yeah, source, right? I feel like, we are all, it's like, it's funny because even when we talk to a lot of people who comes from the biblical text and we try to explain it in the way that I feel that it was originally meant to be interpreted by, but it's just like the Bible itself, it has so many interpretations, right? But that's why it's also important, like even your pastors will tell you, do you read the Bible for yourself? Because when you get to understand it in a personal, not just the God above outside, but that God that's in us. Even it says you are more than the conqueror. Greater is he that's in me. Like if you can't believe that's those things, then don't acknowledge that God that's within you. And so a lot of times we will even say things, right? Mm-hmm. Like those things like, you're not worthy. Only God is worthy. But how can God be worthy if I'm not worthy? How can God not be worthy, right? If we are one, if I'm in unison, right? So it's that division piece that I feel like is my story to come after. That thing that separates us, divided we fall, right? United we stand. So when we start taking out those insignificant details, socialism, classism, religion, and we start looking at things in a oneness, okay? Well, the one consciousness that we were once, while we were created to be here anyway, we begin to attack the system systematically. But it's like waking up one Neo at a time. One Neo
at a time. I love that. I love that. So let's get a little bit deeper into the tarot cards themselves. In the deck of tarot, they'll have, the major arcana like the food all the way up to the world, like, right? And so if you can, could you shine light on what's going on in that? What's your idea of what's happening as that food is evolving on the journey? Who is that food, so to speak?
Is us. Everybody around us, because we are all foolish. Okay, he without sin. Throw the first stone.
Ooh, yeah.
Right. We are all foolish in our own right, but the thing about the food and all major arcana is once you realize that it's that thing that's bigger than you. We all make mistakes. We all, part of the world or the ecosystem, the world card, right? But it's also, of course, the interpretation goes from situation to situation, but ultimately you understanding that it's that something that's bigger. That's that divine calling to take a step of faith, that leap of faith, if it is the food. And it's that if it's the world card, it's time for you to glow up. Like, okay, rise, it's time to rise and shine. Okay, pick up your mat, it's time to go. Right? And so I feel like what people don't realize that a lot of the biblical text is kind of terror.
Kind of. It is.
It is. We are literally talking about planetary. So the planet. So it's like once you know, you can't unknow.
Pick up, like they said in the biblical text, pick up your bed and walk. That's pretty much the world card right there. Look, pick up that bed and walk. You've been on this journey. And so my interpretation is kind of like, it's really the same, is the fact that it's all us on a spiritual journey. That part of the tarot card is us on a spiritual journey, starting off as a fool, not knowing that the fool, first of all, he or she doesn't know that they're about to go on an adventurous journey that has everything to do with themselves. And being that it has everything to do with themselves, they don't need anything outside of themselves, because they came equipped with all tools that they need to develop this thing called consciousness. So they're really on a conscious journey of unfoldment. It's a new beginning and an adventure, and kind of like, speaking of the biblical text, kind of like the story of the Christ conscious one, that the old them has to die. They have to die and be crucified and be resurrected into the world card and have this new beginning where they can pick up their bed and walk, because now they died to their old belief. They died to their old ways of doing things. And so they've renewed their mind, so to speak.
Yes, I love to say that, by the renewing of your mind. Yeah. Really, if you can renew your mind, you can literally renew your life. That's why every day you can literally renew yourself.
Right.
And you choose to be that same being every day. That's by choice.
Definitely. That's by choice on a spiritual journey and physically too. Because if we think about the totality of our body, our stomach lining is turning over every 3 to 5 days, like, right? The liver, the kidneys, everything, our nails, you break it, it'll grow back. Your hair, you cut it, it's going to grow back. Your skin is constantly shedding. So everything is being renewed. And being that we're all energy, frequency, and vibration, we're supposed to be vibrating and moving, so to speak. If not, we're stagnated with our energy. If not, we are our own stumbling block in our physical and spiritual lives. Yes. If we're not renewing that mind.
Yes.
So we good stuff. Hey Sage, thank you for being here. Hey Spiritual New Growth.
Thank you, Steve.
Hey Tangela, beautiful one says my sister roommate gave her a deck of tarot cards and she gave them to me. I kept them for years, but I threw them away trying to get rid of anything that may be causing negativity. Oh, because she didn't select the cards.
Yeah. Sometimes, to be honest, you have to be mindful what people will give to you too, right? Intentions is everything. So, if you felt that's why your intuition is everything. So
it really is.
Like, hold on.
It really is.
Well,
it really is. All right. Rita says, I'm loving this. Thank you, Rita. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
You're so good. You're so good.
You know what? You know what I'm doing though? I'm imagining my little girl self, really, like I was asking you that question, because I want my supporters to not just hear things from me, from my perspective, No, I want them to hear from like another person that's doing it. And then when they hear you say some of the common things that I'm saying, then they'll have something that they'll hold on to, especially if they're thinking that thought too. Being around like-minded energy was always something that I wanted in my life. Like when I was a little girl, all of my friends were older women, like, right? Because my mind was always developed so much more. And so I just want to put my supporters in a position where they have the tools that they need. And I used to go through, despite where I am today with health and wellness and stuff, I used to go through so much as it pertains to being sick, you know, as it pertains to spirituality, because I came up in church and religion where I had to go to church. I was an usher, I was a camera girl, I was a treasurer, I was a pastor's assistant, I was in a choir, my mom's minister, my auntie a pastor, my uncle pastor, the brother the drummer. Everything was church.
Wednesday, Thursday,
yes.
Saturday, and double, triple some
right. And so it was almost like my soul was just crying out for answers to get out of this thing called religion and explore spirituality. But you get bopped upside your head in that culture at that time for even questioning God or having an answer as to why, you know, like, why am I doing? I don't understand why we got to do this. Like, right, you get punished and stuff. And so I said to my little girl self, when I find out, I'm going to help you. And I'm going to circle back and help other people. That's really why I do what I do. I'm retired, just in case I didn't mention that. I'm retired, y'all. I did early retirement. And I manifested, you know, the life that I always desired, in peace. In peace and being able to give back to mankind. That's really all I want to ever do in my life. This right here.
Right. And how many of us try to do that and equate that with a job? Right? When it's that thing, like, I just know I want to be of service, or I know I want to be a giver. And then we go to this institution trying to, explore these gifts and be this thing inside of it.
Inside of it,
and it's like you only reaching your impact is so small because you are literally restricted, right, in so many capacities to what you can say, how you can say it, right, with truths, okay, you supposed to say. And if you say one wrong thing, or then you're that's your whole career. And it's just like sometimes you have to literally, definitely when you answering that call, and it's like drop your mat, baby, you got to go, and you're gonna figure out exactly where you're supposed to be along the way. But one thing about it can be scary, but I beseech you to do it. I beseech you. I answer the call.
Listen at you. I like that. I like that. During your readings, do you pull out normally like a card for the collective, so to speak, on every reading? How do you go about telling them the energy that there is?
Yes, I start my readings with collective energy, because it's always fun to see who's in your energy first, right? So definitely when you're doing a thing online, and it's like, okay, I know how sometimes I don't even come on with a certain goal or a certain thing in mind. I kind of pick up the energy first. And so that's why I do collective more so, to kind of see, like, I know maybe not leaning on my own understanding in a sense, right? So I know maybe what I would probably want to say. And if I feel to say certain things, I'm going to say it.
Right.
But ultimately, I like to do an energy check. I like to see who's in my energy field and where we need to begin.
So is it safe to say a collective read is just telling you who's watching, who's there?
I don't have to know your face, but I know your energy. And I feel like that's how you spotted me and I spotted you. I was like, oh my goodness, look at me. Look at them. It was some time you were in the preaching and I be in here in tears like, oh my God, who is me?
Who is me?
At this time, I was standing with someone and she was like, who is that on your screen? You watching that lady again? I'm like, yes.
But yeah, I do that too. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being my little jazzy self over there, my little bounce self over there. my little wine taster over there. I be seeing you with your glass. Oh my God. You're funny. So here we go. We set the tone where we come on alive and we do a card for the collective to see what's the energy in the room. Most often than not, we already know it. Most often than not, we said what it was, and then the card came forth, and then you was like, you knew you were in alignment, like, right?
Yeah, and that's all I've been. I say like really this year, if anything, that's what I've been learning, how important alignment is, right? And so we can't get in alignment with anybody else if we're not in alignment with ourselves.
With ourselves.
It only took for me to get to this point to read you because I had to get to know me.
There
and
you
once
go.
I got into alignment with myself by meditation and grounding, spending a lot of time in nature. And that's why I'm always trying to collective, like taking care of yourself and putting your mental self in a place to receive whatever it is that yourself is telling you through source, right? And it's like once you get into alignment with that, then again, that's when your cards align with whoever else. And and it's funny because it's no big mystery to it, but because you are aligned with yourself, like definitely when you've been through experiences, you can pass it. Oh, baby, I know who it is on the other line, baby. You're talking to a narcissist. I know what a narcissistic attribute look like. And it's like, you can kind of get into a better read, once you are in alignment with self.
Right. Yeah, that is so important. It's offering time. Y'all tap the screen. It's offering time. It's offering time. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube.
Oh, you on YouTube? I have to follow your YouTube.
Yeah, my YouTube is Salt of the Earth Publishing. And I only have 2 cameras today, but I normally have 3 up here. I'll do God is Just Be Healthy, and my YouTube channel. Kind of like reading the comments from each camera. But yeah, I gotta stay active on my YouTube. You gotta get you one.
I have one. You know what? It's been my fight, right? I'm just getting to this point now where I'm comfortable in my skin about what I do, but it's been a fight for me. It has been a fight for me, and so that's why I've cleared off my page because I'm ready to like kind of put myself out there, like, world, here I am, intuitive reader.
Yeah.
Let's go. But it's been a journey for me to get to this point now where I'm even comfortable being on live,
Really? And see, that's just it. That's another reason why I like talking to like-minded energy, because we be having, if you pay attention, we got a lot of similarities. You was talking about coming up in the religious aspect, running away from your gift. That's me right there. And so, and on top of that, being an introvert. I call myself now, I'm a healed introvert. Being a nerd, like you said, that's me.
Yeah.
So were you an introvert? Were you shy about it? Just nervous about being on live? What was it?
It's funny. I'm a bit of an introvert extrovert, right? So it's like I'm in therapy to kind of get to the bottom of it now. So I'm very expressive about my therapy journey, but it's me overcoming minimalizing. I have this thing where I minimalize myself because of my past trauma and my past experiences. And so because I've been like, I've never been the one I want to sit in the front seat of the classroom. I need to sit in the back where nobody can see me.
Yep.
Because usually when you have that big bright light and you have these types of gifts, it's easy for people to shut you up, or you be around other friends who don't like your energy, but they love your energy and they see that thing about you, but they want to dumb you down and tone you down. And so because I've always aligned myself with people who were on the surface level, yay, we look like we had it all, right? But it was still like, okay, no, because I want to give everybody their time to shine. I minimalize. And so it is not so much as introvert, extrovert, because I could be a bit of both. I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay.
So it can be a bit of both. Ultimately, it's that minimalizing thing that I struggle with so long. And so now God is like, no, I've always been on stages, always been in the limelight, not in the limelight in that sense, but I do music and poetry. So I've always been on stages. I've danced in school. And so God always put me on stages and platforms, right? Like, no, that's what you're supposed to be doing something. And then it's like, but no, I don't want people to see me. No, no, I don't want people to judge me. Oh no, I don't want to be wrong. I don't. And so once I got confidence, it's all about confidence too. So once I got that confidence in myself, like, girl, bye, let's do it. And girl, you know what you know. Let's go.
But you know what you said was interesting. Two things that I picked up from that. You were saying always being in the back, but being in the back was purposeful for you, you know, in your journey too, because it helped with your gift. It's part of you reading the room. Us being in the back, like, because me being the introvert that I was, you know, going to food courts and reading energy, being in the back in of the classroom and watching the energy. It was like the world was like the stage for me to fine tune my gift. Because now if I'm in the back, even if I went to a party and I was the wallflower like I was years ago when I was younger, being that wallflower, I could read the room and say who liked who was sneaky linking with who was not confident within themselves when they was on that dance floor, who ordered a drink for who and told the bartender to deliver it. We were reading.
Yes. I knew it all. I didn't have to say it, but I knew it. You're absolutely right.
So for anybody that's listening that have children like that, you know, they might be fine tuning their gift. You know, let people just be and express themselves the way that they choose in that time, because when they season come, they ain't gonna be able to run from it. When they call and say it's time, that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, and I feel like that's what I am on my journey with my kids. Right, so now I'm more so like, what is it you want to do? Okay, listen. Yep. They asked me about spirituality. My daughter, she's even getting into it, and she's doing better, and she knows herself and making better decisions. So it's like it's. I'm just like, God is good. Okay,
I know that's right. That's beautiful. You also mentioned should I even elaborate on this? I'm being tactful in my delivery. You said you were being transparent with your supporters about therapy, but I want to add to that, because if you are underneath the sound of my voice, and I like to call them air signs, just like you were saying, because it correlates, because I'm a blood type connection catalyst. That air element has to do with the thought world. Or if you are blood type B, blood type Bs, I'm talking to you. So pretty much I'm talking to Gemini, Libra, if we want to get into tarot part of it. I'm talking about Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Listen up. And blood type B, whether you blood type B negative and B positive. Actually, as it pertains to energy, you are the oracles of this world. You are the tarot readers of this world. You see one, well, you see two right before your eyes, right? That correlate with those, either that horoscope or with that bloodline. And so I want you to know that sometimes our life be like hell on earth. We beat and went through all the ins and out of religion. You hear us talking about it, in and out of health and wellness, in and out battling introvert, extrovert, because life be putting us in a position to go through, to circle back to help mankind. So we got to be prepared for this here ride of this game of life, like, right? But I want you to know that therapy is something that we as tarot readers probably don't come out and just share all our business, but it is necessary for the oracle. It is necessary.
Yeah.
Because we'd have been through hell and high water. Go ahead.
Healing needs healing.
Yes.
The lover needs love and the healer needs healing. And sometimes, you know, we learn how to nourish that thing within us. But it's okay to say, no, I've been through some things. And all I can tell my therapist when I first started is I just got to unbox this emotional clutter. It was like my life started taking control of me, even though it's like, of course, when you are intuitive, right, and you have seemingly have the answers for everybody, it's really ironic sometimes we don't even have the answers for ourselves.
Right.
And so it's okay for you guys to say, like, you know what, I need help with help. If I want to help somebody else, how can I get the help first? Yeah. And so that's what it was for me. Like, I know I need help. Right.
Thank you for sharing a live. Thank you, Rita. Yeah, because I really believe that.
About blood type O.
Say that again.
I'm sorry. Goddess Tiffany asked, "What about blood type O?"
Oh, blood type O, their energy, their energy is really profound. Blood type O correlates with passion, like, right? And so it's almost like you could energetically spot them in a room because they're the fire element. So when I say passion, I'm talking about that fire element. So in tarot, we have those cards that correlate with this here. And so when we talk about fire, we're talking about passion, we're talking about people that are able to embody the totality of who they are. Because actually, a blood type O in their mind, the way that they thought is in their mind is they can they're better than anybody in their mind. Like they could actually be in corporate America talking to the CEO and shake his hand and be like, man, I could take your job from you. You know, man, I'm better than you. Like, right. And so they're the leaders in mankind because of it. They're the ones that build the idea of climbing the corporate ladder, you know, sports and different things, you know, anything that has to do with hierarchy. It was built from the blood type O, because blood type O is actually the original bloodline of mankind. So when we're talking about things like the Egyptians and the Anunnaki gods and the fallen gods of the first man per se, that's blood type O.
She said, I'm a Leo as well.
Yeah. And so that's some powerful energy. So that's like double fire. And so for that particular person, you said it's a she, for that particular person, just her energy alone can be intimidating by other people because she got double fire.
Okay, so as a blood type O, that's fire, that's passion, energy, and then she has the zodiac
on top of that. Yes.
Oh, wow. And that's amazing because even when I read tarot, when I do see fire, even if you're not a fire sign, I say, oh, must be some passion here.
There you go.
There must be a lot of chemistry here.
Yes.
From time to time.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And so that's why I talk about the two, because they really, you know, as within, so without, on earth as it is in heaven. So if we have these horoscopes, signs in tarot that we're following, well, there are people in the physical. So tarot gonna be the spiritual. It's always gonna have two. Tarot gonna be the spiritual of it, but the physical of it is that these people that we're talking to are different bloodlines. And so the bloodlines, all four of them correlate to the four elements that we're talking about in tarot. You ever paid attention to that?
Can I ask, when did your journey begin? What was your aha moment? You're just so intelligent. I just love you.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Man, I don't even know the age. I would say I would guesstimate maybe about 7 to 8 years old when I started hearing voices. Like, right? Just hearing, just sleep paralysis. I was always calling it my imaginary friend. And then when my mom got in religion, she was really heavily into religion. And at the same time, her and my dad divorced. And so I was sad about my dad not being home, and she's constantly taking us to church, that when I got out of church, I would go in my closet and cry and ask and pray and ask God to bring my daddy home. I just started praying and talking to what I thought was God and Jesus in my closet. And then, you know, my mom would be calling me, come on, let's go. We got to go to church. So in my mind, I thought I was like I felt like I was taking Jesus with me. I would take Jesus with me to school and, you know, with my friends. And I'm just really talking when I go walking outside by myself. And I would tell my mom, you know, Jesus talks to me all the time. Jesus is my friend, you know. Jesus told me I could go over by such and such house, and I went. And Jesus told me, no, don't do that. That's how I was talking about it. And my mom kind of was like, wait a minute. That's the devil. You got to stop that. You don't have no imaginary friend, like, right? And so I just stopped listening. I stopped listening to this, and I just, everything from that moment for years started spooking me out. My dreams, everything. And so because it spooked me out, and because my mom was telling me it was the devil, I started ignoring my inner being, like, right? And it's like I got afraid of it. I got so afraid, so confused, but yet I'm still in church. And it just became so much that I had to listen to what my mom was teaching me as it pertains to religion, that I said, I'm getting out of this house at 17. I wanted to get out of the house early so I can be free to do what I want to do. And so when I fully embodied it when I was 17 years old, my spiritual walk. And at that moment, I didn't want to hear what no religious pastor or nobody wants it. I wanted to find out what was this noise that I was hearing? Why was it right? It didn't mean me no harm. Why was I dreaming the way I was dreaming? Why was I predicting things in people's life? What is wrong with me? Because I at first thought it was a wrong in me. And so when I got on my own in my spiritual journey, I just indulged in everything. I wanted to find out about the 7-day Adventists, the Hebrew Israelites, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book of Enoch, the everything, the hieroglyphics. I wanted to find out who Thoth was. What about Buddha and Krishna? And I studied everything. And then I concluded, oh my God, we're God. And all of us are in the likeness of God. And I best relate it as it pertains to energy, because everybody could understand energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's why I talk the way I talk about energy, because I don't, it's not my belief to have the hierarchies. I believe that that's something that man does. And so if I'm talking to people, if I say good energy, if I say you're wobbling, they could understand that. And I'm not stepping on their toes, in religion. I'm just including everybody now. And so that's become my journey. That's become my passion. And I still could go to church. I could still pray. I just understand the jewels from that, I know that really I'm practicing mindfulness. Really, I'm really giving energy to source, that the power that I stem from. And even if I go to church and clap my hands and praise God, we're really all praising and thinking the same source. We just gonna misconstrue it and we're gonna divide it. The man does that. Man divides.
Yes.
So that's my journey. It's been started. And my gift found me because I was running from it. Because like I said, for a point in time, I thought it was the devil.
Yeah, and that's what we're taught to believe. Like if it didn't align with certain principles, or we couldn't put a name to it, it was automatically evil, right? Or it was the devil's.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And so in this year was purposeful. I'm so happy that I was able to talk with you, because I really wanted other people to see, another tarot, reader express themselves. And so just passing through, a lot of people have come through my life, and they'll be like, I cast you out in Jesus' name, and this is the devil, and da da da. But see how we just got together and we talked about God here. We talked about coming up in religion. We talked about our shadow work that we have, and she's actively, even in therapy, still dealing with. Like we're people too. We have a heart. We reverence God, and despite the fact that we understand that there is darkness, that there is dark work that can be done with this tarot, we're choosing light. Yes. And see, that's really all that it's about.
Yeah.
We choose life.
Even says, like, even the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Right? So even if we condemn what we don't know, how do we understand if we want to need that knowledge in hindsight? So it's like not being so quick to judge or condemn, right? And if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Right?
If it's not,
if it don't fit,
right. Like this is not like religion where we're trying to get you to come to our church. No.
Right.
No, Bill. Right. We're just here. I'm just here sharing the knowledge for people that come on here in ignorance, not understanding what we're doing here. Because I just want to help my little girl self. Maybe she's in a home, where she just had church all day today. It's Sunday. All day today she's been in church. And maybe she's thinking outside the box. I kind of wanted her to see outside the box from her reflections, me and V today. That we still love God, that we're not trying to do people wrong. We're trying to help raise the frequency of mankind.
Yeah. I still listen to my gospels. I still listen. I could pray some things. I could pray some things into existence. It's like, right. It's still the same thing, but I just, in and the difference is just I just go within now. I don't look for so much of the answers outside of me, but knowing that if it's an answer, look, even the Bible says that I'll send a crow, I'll send an ass if I have to.
Oh,
okay, some
my
of us
God.
we get caught on the messenger because it's the messenger instead of the message sometimes. And I feel like, hey, baby, if you got something that can help me, uplift me, I don't care what's your creed. And listen, there's been some times and some situations where people came to me from other faiths and religion, but what they said was absolutely correct. And it was like, eat the fish, spit out the bones, right? And that's exactly what I did. So even if you are still, is still going to church, if you're still Christian, if that's what you believe, by all means, you have a right. We all have rights to believe what we want to believe. But I feel like that's when there's a line that needs to be crossed when we're trying to condemn somebody else because of what they've collected knowledge and understanding on. Right? That's what makes the world beautiful, right? That we're all different. We're all different. Nobody's the same. Your spots are not my spots. My blemishes aren't yours, but we're still human.
Yes.
Right? We still need love. We still want success. We still want happiness.
Yes.
We still want freedom. I just want to be me. However,
I know that's right. And at the end of the day, it's about a healthy balance. One thing, as we wrap up with these questions, one thing that I wanted to share is that in religion, we go into energy, so we all can meet there. It's about a healthy balance. In religion, the idea of most religious practices is that is only this here side. Love and light, so to speak, blessed and highly favored, so to speak, no sinning, so to speak. But all things are energy, frequency, and vibration. So we have 0 to 14. If we pertain it to our body cannot go down past 7.35 to 0 range, because that would mean we're ascetic, right? That's where sickness and disease live. So when we're right there in the middle at 7.35, we're deemed healthy. Even too much of good health, we get into an alkaline range and we still cause ourselves dis-ease and disharmony, because our physical body wants balance as well as our spiritual body wants balance. And if we bring it to spirituality, I feel as though when we get to that place where we just love and life, and no, I'm never gonna cheat, and I'm never gonna have sex, and I'm never, because I'm God fearing. It's just too much for our spiritual journey.
Yes.
We need balance.
Yes.
We need balance. And yes. I personally believe the true sin is when you sin against yourself, when you go against the way that you truly feel. That's the ultimate sin. And so as far as spirituality is concerned, get in balance, get in flow. And that way, all the desires of your heart can come to you, instead of you creating resistance, saying, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to look over there. That energetically is making you want that thing. Just like, I'm not being ugly, but those people that say, oh, I'm not going to have sex anymore. I'm not going to look at no men. And then next thing you know, in church, they went Reverend Lowdown, because they created so much of resistance, aka energy, by running away, and it got them.
And that's why, I'm sorry, not to cut you
off. No, I'm done.
But that just goes back to that biblical scripture where it says nothing new under the sun.
Nothing.
Right? It's a time and it's a place where everything under the sun, right? So that goes back to your balance. If as long as you are in reasonable balance, we're still human. We're still here to experience the human experience, right? So don't allow someone else's rules, right, to tell you who you are, how you're supposed to conduct your existence. Like, no, it's still your existence, right? Yeah. But yes, you're on it. You're on. Ooh, you're me.
Find that good feeling and go with flow. Whatever that feels like for you, do that with no judgment on your own self. So that means you can't be thinking negative when you do it, because you'll be casting judgment on your own self. Go with flow. Enjoy the game of life and play to win. Yes. All right. Any questions before we get up out of here?
Knowledge is wealth. Study to show thyself approved.
Yes.
Yes, we We have to get a relationship with source for ourselves. Absolutely. That's my message. Get to know our own self, be true, baby.
Yes. Okay, on my end, I see Truth, Aquarius, bloodline, O. They talking about blood type O. There's some O's in this house. There's some O's in this house.
Can you touch a little basis before you go on the other blood types that we done did the air, we did fire?
Oh, okay. So yeah, B, I'm actually a blood type B, so that represents the air. That's the thought element. This is why we're really brilliant minds, and we create actually through thought. You know how we talk about the different tools? Mindfulness is our superpower as it pertains to blood type B. We talked about O, and that's going to be the fire element. That's why embodiment and passion, they're like the gods, the Anunnaki gods. Blood type A, they are they are about order in this here realm. They're kind of like not being ugly, but they're kind of like perfectionists. They like everything detailed in an order and instruction. Their element is going to be earth, right? That's going to be the pinnacles. They're going to be the pinnacles in the deck, and they're actually the closest to being vegans. Just to throw that out there, of any blood group. That's why they're so grounded and connected to earth. They're the true and only vegans, really. And they have a delicate digestive system to prove this. They have a lot of introverts too. They're great assistants, because they're about order and instruction. And last but not least, there's a blood type AB, and that's the Christ conscious blood type. Those are the people that really, they have the hookup, even if they're not spiritual. They at Lowe's, they got the hookups with the discount at Lowe's. They got the hookup with the, marijuana on the corner. They got the hookup. They're the kumbaya. Yeah, they're the kumbaya type people. Because if you think about the Christ conscious one, he had the ability to draw all things to him, the multitude of people. So that's the AB bloodline, and they represent the water element, being able to go with flow. And so that's the 4 bloodlines. They all have an element, and they all make up the totality of God, the body of Christ that they're talking about in religion.
Okay. So now one more question before we go.
Go. I'm not pressed for time. Go ahead.
So what is that when we say, when our moon rises, is that the same thing? Can we use that same blood type in senses of our rising, our moon, our placements, our planet placements, in other words? Sorry.
I've never brought it to that deep an extent. I like to just do horoscope as it pertains to the element of the horoscope, and then the bloodline as it pertains to your bloodline that's inside of you. I never went to the, your moon and this here sign. No, I never brought it down to that level.
Okay, well that makes sense though. Wow, that's amazing. Any other tips that you would give us according to those placements? Like if we are air signs, right, and you say that we have B air placements. B blood type. Is there something unique or special we can do to cultivate that energy where we're flowing?
Yes. That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, so every element, whether we're talking about your element as pertaining to your horoscope or the element as it pertains to your blood type, every blood type rather has an element. Every horoscope has an element. So if you, for example, that lady, they have a age restriction that popped up. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know has age restriction because this can help people with because it's with wellness. It will just have a restriction.
Oh, okay. Keep going. So anyway, if you are doubled up like that lady who was embodied by bloodline with fire, she was a bloodline O, and her horoscope was a fire element. Maybe she was an Aries or something. Anyway, being if you have those two going for you, that means you embody passion. So if I was a blood type O and I was one of those fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, sun, because it represents fire, and candles. These are the people when they're doing spells or work, They need fire element around them. That could be a lighter, that could be about a stove, but fire and or them being outside, those energies in tune with their energy will ignite and grant them instant manifestation. That's a tip for all the for all of them. On my website, the link is on my bio. I have the Woke is F Blood Type Connection course. It teaches you your compatible partners, your best and worst jobs, your sex drive by blood type, your personality, the weight loss cheat codes, beneficial foods, and different things. Everything blood type, compatible.
Okay.
But nonetheless, I just wanted to throw that in. But nonetheless, then we deal with A's. So for A's, remember I told you their element is the earth. So they manifest best when they are outside, barefooted, grounded in mother. And if they were to like write things down, if you like writing your, affirmations down or the manifestations on a piece of paper, you fold it toward you as if you're wanting that thing to come to you and bury it into mother, because your element is earth. So you want to multiply that thing and bury it in mother and say, mother, take care of me. Because basically you're from the earth. You're closest to the earth than any other blood group. That's a blood type A. And if we're talking about the signs, that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorns, right?
Okay.
And AB, remember I shared with you that's the water element. So for them, a good place to manifest or meditate will be when they're taking a shower, maybe when they're swimming. Just be around that element, or even if they don't want to get themselves wet, if they know where a body of water is, they can go there to meditate, or better yet, whatever they're, envisioning, if they wrote it down, if they like to write it on a piece of paper that's going to actually dissolve in the water and put it in the river and let it flow. Just different things like that. Those are tricks to make your element work fire for you. And B, blood type, we're thinkers. We're brilliant minds. We're thinkers. So blood type B, they actually, being that they're tarot and oracles, some of them are witches by bloodline, right? And a witch through bloodline, she can wish destruction and life on a person just through thought. She don't necessarily need to write it down. She don't need the other elements, because her mind or his mind is powerful. So they just think about it. They just think about it intensely with passion. Intense passion. So that's the heart and the thought getting together, creating electro, because the thoughts is electric. The heart is magnetic. Electromagnetic form of energy. That's how the bees think, because their element is air, and air has to do with the thought world.
You broke that thing down. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So we know what to do now to take our manifestations up to that next level.
Yeah.
Wow. They said, wow, that's probably why I love candles so much.
There you go.
Yes, I'm a Leo, and my life path is 633.
Yeah. That's beautiful. What are you doing for this new year with your people? This will be the last question now, because we could talk for hours, because I would love to pick your mind.
You're not going to pick your brain all day.
But I'm eager to know, what are you doing for the new year, for as it pertains to, you said you do numerology, you know what the next year is, right?
That's the year. No, I haven't started. I know I'm behind.
You're behind. So I want to give you this here tip to help your people. But next year, this year, because I'm into numerology too, this year equaled 7. So we took the 2, the 0, the 2, and the 3, 2023, and we get 7, right? And 7 was all about knowledge. This is why everybody was like, oh, TikTok, I'm learning so much from TikTok. It's TikTok University, because it was time for us to get knowledge. Well, next year is 8. There you go. Abundance. And so we should be preparing the minds of our supporters for that abundance. That's so important.
Let's do it.
Now, abundance is not just about receiving. It's being in a position to give too. That's why I tell my supporters it's offering time, because they need to know how to give and receive and create a healthy relationship with abundance. And so as it pertains to when I go on live talking about my readings and stuff, I created tools because everything is a tools, just like these here cards are tools. I created tools that I was supporting with my sharing with my supporters to create abundance in their life. These are some of the tools that I created. This here is like gold $1,000,000 and what gold $100. It's like a tool that I use with them. And so the purpose of this here, this is also available on my website to prepare people's mind for next year.
Okay.
And we have 8 of them. Just by counting this here money, talking and speaking to this here money, using your element with this here money, it's a whole exercise that you do, plus affirmations that you can listen to upon using this tool. But just by doing this type of work, it's preparing you for the energy of money for next year, for abundance for next year. Heaven is a prepared place for prepared people. This is your heaven, right? And so you want to prepare and create a healthy relationship with money now. So when we get in that cycle of 8, the 8th year, which is next year, we get in the cycle of 8 where it's about prosperity and abundance. Your mind will already be having a healthy relationship with it. Yeah. And so just remind your people about money.
And you know what? I've been sensing that even in my tarot, like there is abundance coming, and I've already been kind of telling everybody like to be in that energy by go ahead and like practicing opening your money roads and and things in that type of way, listening to your sound frequency, reprogramming your subconscious mind to even through sound frequencies, if that's the beginning, because that's how I begin to, started with me by reprogramming, listening to it sometimes at night, going to sleep and sleeping through those money affirmations, frequency and money chants and things like that. And it's funny that you're saying that because intuitively that's where like that mindset I've already been, kind of reprogramming my subconscious mind for, but it never dawned on me like to correlate that with the new energy coming at you. Thank you.
Right. So start doing that as it pertains to the number. You say you're into numerology, so start doing that because you that's energy too. Yeah. And so with this here mindfulness, it's an 8-day meditation money magnet audio that you receive, and you receive these actual dollars. And so every night you're taking one and you're actually through mindfulness creating a relationship with it. You're talking like to it because money is just energy. You're talking to it, and I give you the words that you speak to it, and then you put it underneath your pillow. And it's 8 nights. It's like you're sleeping with it. You're so familiar. You're such in a relationship with money till it's there with you. And then on the night day, when it's time to release, you have your instructions how to release and everything. But now you have a harmonious relationship with money. It's like a friendship, and you're in flow because the element of money, those that are AB water signs or of that water element, the element of money is water. So when you get in the flow of it, it just comes to you easily and effortlessly, and you won't be no longer believing that you got to work hard to earn money because you are money.
Yes. And your energy, our energy is so important. Like, but that's another conversation within it. So when we're in that 9 to 5 mind state, in that mindset, you putting in your money.
Not just that.
And not getting paid enough.
Right, not just that. We're in that mindset of working. We heard money don't grow on trees. We heard the root of money is the root of all evil. And so now our relationship with money is like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't deserve it. That's too much. You sure?
Yes. And with this, you will literally become fearful of success, like because of those lies that we were taught.
Yeah.
To believe.
All right, we got a couple of questions and then we out of here. Let me see this here. Use the tool that works. Is someone saying on here? While in religion, I receive a prophecy that I would speak before thousands of people. How do I walk in that now, or do I let it go? You want to answer that?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat it again?
While in religion, I received a prophecy that I would speak before thousands of people. How do I walk in that now, or do I let it go?
Oh no, baby, you don't let that go. You gotta know when you're trusting, and it's going from believing to knowing, right? So if you still trying to believe that it's going to happen to you, that's going to prolong the process, right? So it's like, no, when you know that you are destined for greatness, again, like she said, it's a thing where you begin to process and renew your mindset so that you can become and get into the flow and get into the energy of greatness. And then once you get into that inner knowing and you know it within your knowing what you have to do or how you're being called, your intuition will begin to literally lead you down the path, right? It will go from trying to make it happen to you intuitively begin to walk into your gifts and your calling and your purpose. Yeah. So it's also that knowing what you're called to do. What is your inner knowing telling you about you, and what are your gifts? And usually it's that thing that you would do absolutely for free, right? That's that thing that's usually you're going to be the best skilled and best gifted at it, and then these things shall be added. So I say, no, don't say forget it. This is the time you need to cultivate a mindset for it.
Thank you.
Change your mind to change your
life. Change your mind, but also learning of yourself. Because if that is you, if that is your calling, then you got stuff to learn in between. So there's some gifts that still have to be emerging from you. It's the only reason why you're not in that state of being right now, because there's more gifts. So get to know yourself in between time. Don't let it go. Just feel like, okay, well, I must need to learn this. Okay, I need to learn this because I know I'm going to be the prophet. If you hold on to that, but let go of the outcome and stay in this now with what you're learning, you'll get there faster.
Yes. But this is, like you said, in that process, it's that extraction, right? Where the things that you didn't even know you can do. You probably haven't even thought to do that thing or do certain things, and then if you're in a knowing, your intuition kick in, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, well, this started out as a hobby, and look at me thriving in it, flourishing in it. So no, please don't throw away the dream. Yes,
don't throw away. And look, I'm surrounded by all these eights over here. This next question, is the new year in spring, starting around spring? Yes, it doesn't matter, because that's another thing, like with religion, I don't really get into if people want to believe in the January 1st or the March cycle. Really and truly, it begins when spring starts right there in March. But that, I mean, everybody has their New Year's Day that they celebrate, and I let them people be. But regardless of that, when we get to March, we gonna be in that 8th year. And so that's regardless of whether you start on January 1st or March, I think it's like the 23rd or 24th, then it doesn't matter. We're still going to be on the 8th year. And that 8th year represents prosperity and abundance. So create a relationship with money so that you will be prosperous. There are going to be two types of people next year. There's going to be those that have and those that have not. So prepare your mind for where we're going, because we're going there. Just like this year was about knowledge. And some people refuse to get the knowledge. It was right in front of their face. And they still sitting there stuck on stupid. And I'm not being ugly, but that's a state of mind, stuck on the ignorance, not wanting to get out of your own box in your own mind to explore the boundless universe. And people can choose that because they're not ready. Yeah. All right. Great answer. Thanks so much. You're so welcome.
Yeah, fully throw yourself into, I'm sorry, my Nick says, fully throw yourself into it and learn everything you can learn.
Yeah.
That's a good advice.
Yep. You want to pull a card for the collective? We didn't do that today. You want to do one?
You know I got my cards right here.
Do what you do, baby.
The magician splitting the deck, okay? Splitting the deck with the magician out here. Okay, definitely letting you know that everything you need is already within you.
What?
Okay? As soon as you crack it open, as soon as you crack open that thing inside of you, everything you need, the wands,
it's within.
The cups.
Yep. All elements.
The pinnacles, everything you need is already inside you, okay? So trust your process. Anything specifically that the collective needs to know? Thank you for God is just be. Oh, you just blessed my soul today.
Thank you.
You literally just blessed my spirit. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
All right, but what do the collective need to know? Make it plain, clear, and concise. Holy Spirit, thank you. All right, what do the collective need to know? I'm hearing study and show thyself approved. Okay, so I feel like the collective is already on it. You're already doing the studying you need. You're already taking your chances. Oh, with the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands outside. Okay, so this is definitely letting you know that you guys have already planted the seeds. You already have the seeds in the ground, okay? Abundance is literally all around you. Mm-hmm. You may be seeing birds, you may be seeing cardinals, okay? So your cardinals is your ancestors or your spiritual reminder of how abundant you are, okay? That you don't get what you want, you get who you are in this season. So be abundant, be happy, be peace, okay? Yeah. Be romance. If you're looking for more love and romance, be love. Okay, go ahead and set the tone for your day, whether it's boo home or not, okay? You still put those roses out, those candles. Yes. You still give yourself all of the pampering and the nurturing you need, and you'll begin to literally attract that into you. Mm-hmm. We also have the 6 of Wands outside, which is letting you know that there are so many creative ways to make this abundance your birthplace, make it your home, make it that thing that's you, okay? You're going to be recognized. You're going to be recognized, and it's like get comfortable. Get used to being seen, get used to being heard. Recognition is yours, okay? This is in the current energy, so you are currently coming into yourself, okay? So you are on the horse, which is your willpower. So continue to use your willpower as a driving force to wherever it is that your intuition is leading you. Okay, no matter what's going on around you, we have the Page of Wands. So this is an absolutely new beginning. A lot of you guys are stepping into absolutely new territory. You're going to begin to eyes haven't seen, ear haven't heard. I know that's right. Entered into the hearts of man, the things that's in store for you in this season. So you have to look up, right? No more looking down, no more keeping your head down, bowing your head, okay? It's keeping your head up, looking forward to new beginnings, looking forward to the opportunities. Look, and then if you don't have them, okay, create them. Okay? Create your way. Use your willpower to create your way in this next season, okay? As we go into this year 8, all right? Which is also the Emperor energy is outside, clarifying the bottom of the deck. And the Emperor is letting you know you got it, okay? Sometimes, I know we have all of these elements, but you are literally in control here, okay? So we can't control every details of everything, okay? But do know the things that you do have the power to control, okay? Do it, okay? Sometimes it's that masculine energy, which is the doer, okay? And then once you do things and when you do what you have to do and you get things done, then you can sit in your feminine energy, your Empress energy, and receive. Okay, yes. So it's not just do, and not looking forward to a season of reception, right? You've already, a lot of you guys already put those seeds in the ground. You've already done the groundwork. So get ready for prosperity. Get ready for your new beginnings. Okay, create your way through. All right, create your opportunities. Continue to be inspired, all right? But we got goodness, all types of good things coming to us. The collective, the world is your oyster, baby. You hire and fire accordingly, okay? Yes. That's all I got.
That's beautiful. That sounds like we close to harvest right there. That's what I heard.
It is. I feel like we've been in the harvest season. See, even with New Year, your New Year do not start January 1st. Yeah. New Year start when you say this is a new
there you go. New year, new me.
Sometimes we wait until that January 1st to set that resolution. Resolution needs to be started now. Yep. So you can step into it already in your energy. You're not trying to get there. You're already in it. Okay? Yeah. But thank you, God is just there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Y'all hit the listen. Go in her DMs. I don't care what you do. Follow. Hey.
For those of your people who want to find out more about the blood type connection, they can go to my website, saltoftheearthpub.org. And when you're there, if you stay there for 10 seconds and sign up to my newsletter, I offer free training on blood type connection. And they'll receive newsletters about blood type, about the elements, about their diet, about losing weight, health and wellness. You name it, I offer it. I'm just here to be in a position to help mankind if they're interested.
Yes, absolutely. We love you so much. Thank you to your followers.
Oh, yeah. And my followers said thank you. They said that was beautiful. They're giving thanks. Thank you so much. Somebody said they saw a bird today. You talk about the birds. They said, I saw a bird today. That's confirmation.
Pay attention to when they are communicating, right? I know sometimes birds are always chirping, but we don't notice it. We just go on about our day. But that is a form of communication.
It really is.
And so the universe is always speaking. Sometimes it's taking that mindful moment just to listen. And it can cause you, it can send you some relief. It can help you with anxiety, stress. Okay. Yes. So the universe is always got your back.
Always. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much.
I love you more. Thank you.
I don't have time a lot to listen to your whole live because I be living and doing newsletters and everything, but I'm with you and I support you in all that you do. If you ever need me, I'm just a DM away. I really admire you. I know we're different, but from my heart, I really admire you. You're an expression of me that sometimes it's hard for me to kind of like let out because, you know, but I could sit there and I'll watch you and I'll be like, yay. Yay. I know, because sometimes you'll say something and I'm like, oh my God.
We get a bit 18 plus. We get a little raunchy on this side.
But look, I'll be over there liking it though.
It's for the good of all. It's to be all human now.
Right. To the good of all and the harm of none.
The harm of none, okay? And if you gotta get you something,
all right, beautiful. You be blessed.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll do this again.
Okay.
We just started something.
Yeah. Definitely. I want to do maybe, you know, I really wanted to get my audience to know you first on this here session, but maybe we can do some, you know, some tarot, like taking turns tarot. In that way, people can see different expressions of, you know, the messages. Or maybe we'll do a person at a time. You tell me what the card is, and you give your expression of it, and then I'll give mine from the blood type connection or other realm that I come from.
Yes, well, you know, boo. You're a genius.
There you go, boo. There you go. We need to do that.
That was good.
All right. All right.
Yes. I love you so much.
Love you too, babe.
Enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your day.
Okay.
I love you.
Look, they said that would be dope. Definitely. We're going to do that.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, babe.
Thank y'all for being here. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you so bad.
All right. Okay, bye.
See you later.
All right. That was beautiful. I love her so much. I love her so much. Thank you, YouTube. I'm about to get up out of here. Thank you. Thank you. Collective read. Yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. To be continued. Tomorrow, though, y'all. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with Jess. We're going to be talking about karma. Be Free with B tomorrow, 4 o'clock with Jess. She's another content creator on TikTok. She does tarot readings, and we're going to specifically talk about karma because she's really cool in the karma area. That's the gift that really I admired how her mind expresses, and I want you all to get an example of that so you won't be stuck in your box thinking that you're going to hell or thinking these other thoughts. It will kind of like free you. And he who the law has set free shall be free indeed. Y'all have a good night. Be blessed. This video was from my heart to yours. Okay, bye. That was so cool.